So joining me now, we have Democratic Congressman from California, Robert Garcia. He is a member of the House Oversight Committee. Congressman, welcome. It's good to see you. Senate Majority Whip Dick Durbin and other top Democrats, they're all calling on Alito to recuse himself. How about you? Where do you stand on this?
I agree. I mean, he should not just recuse himself. I mean, he should resign. What Alito and his wife have done is treasonous. It's shameful. I mean, this court right now is in chaos. This idea that you're going to perpetuate this lie at the home of a Supreme Court justice is sick. And I think this just goes to show how much reform this court needs. This country is a very, very, very tough place as it relates to this court. This is an extreme conservative court. We have never had a court like this. Clarence Thomas, the gifts he's going on, the billionaire gifts that are happening. This is a court that is truly in chaos. And so it's very concerning. I agree, of course, with everyone calling on him to recuse himself with any sort of cases as it relates to January 6th, to the immunity case. But more importantly, these are two Supreme Court judges that have no business being on the court. And the stakes for November around future appointments could not be higher. And so it's important for people to keep talking about this, and Alito should resign.
You mentioned chaos, which is a perfect segue to talk about what happened at the House Oversight hearing on Thursday evening. Here's just a sample of that.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No, ain't nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
Order.
Why don't you debate me?
Mr. Chairman, the
minority. It's pretty self-evident.
You're not.
Yeah, you're not.
Out of order.
You don't have enough
You're out of order.
intelligence.
Chair recognizes Mr. Perry.
Okay, move to strike the.
I'd like to
I move to strike the
words
ladies.
as well.
I move to
I would
strike.
like order.
Ms. Crockett.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
Okay. So you were in the room just a few seats down from Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, who we just heard there. Can you explain what went on? And by the way, is this what taxpayers expect from their representatives these days?
Well, let's be first very clear. Marjorie Taylor Greene 100% started, egged on Representative Crockett, egged on, insulted Representative Ocasio-Cortez, and is completely on her and on James Comer for actually not stepping in and trying to stop her shameless attacks. And let's also take one step backwards. We were going to have that meeting at our normal time of 11 a.m. that morning. But what happens? The Republicans decide instead they want to go to the Trump trial and bend the knee to Donald Trump in New York. And so now they move the meeting back to 8 p.m. and chaos ensued again. And Marjorie Taylor Greene should first and foremost, number one, apologize and should be removed from all her committees. She has no business sitting on any committees in Congress. She has no ability to actually get along with colleagues, including her own, by the way. And as we saw that night, she just insults, and then expects that we're not going to push back or fight back. And so she was in the wrong. She should be stripped from all her committees.
I guess there was a belief to try to fight fire with fire on that one. During that hearing yesterday, you brought up the images of Donald Trump with his eyes closed during his criminal trial in Manhattan. What message were you trying to get across? And do you worry this only helps Trump by then galvanizing his supporters when you see this?
No, because let's remember what the hearing was about. The hearing was actually supposed to be about Robert Hur. It was supposed to be about the Republicans trying to somehow claim that President Biden is not fit or too old, or that these transcripts that have been released somehow the Department of Justice is hiding, trying to protect President Biden. Let's be very clear. The transcripts, that report showed that President Biden, and there was no evidence of him doing anything wrong, that he was actually saying what he needed to say and actually going along with the whole investigation. What I was making the point of is the only person that seems to be tired, sleepy, dozing off, and not fit is Donald Trump. And it's been reported over and over again by your network, by multiple newspapers, by all sorts of journalists, that he is falling asleep in the courtroom. He's dozing off. He's closing his eyes. He's asleep for long periods of time during the trial. And so let's actually put the focus on who is actually unfit for office. That is Donald Trump. And that's what I was trying to show. And I think we did a good job, except that Lauren Boebert actually said that she thought that he's actually praying when he closes his eyes, which I think, of course, is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, well, and I'm just going to say, like, we haven't been able to confirm here at NBC News that he indeed has fallen into a different state of REM sleep or something when he closes his eyes. But be that as it may, the House passed a Republican-backed bill designed to pressure President Biden on delivering weapons to Israel after the White House halted that shipment of offensive weapons because of concerns around Israel's military offensive in Rafah. 16 Democrats voted for it. Not you, though. Why not?
Well, I mean, I disagree with that that push by the Republicans, and I think the president needs to have the ability to hold back weapons, to actually have a strong position against Netanyahu, to ensure that Rafah is not invaded and that we're not supporting what could be a very, very dangerous operation there. Look, Netanyahu is, in my opinion, a danger to peace right now for both Israel, for Gaza, for our relationship with the United States. I think all of us are hoping that election happens sooner rather than later. And I think the president understands that a Rafah operation needs to be handled incredibly carefully. The focus needs to be on defeating Hamas and on releasing hostages. We need a ceasefire now. I've been calling for a ceasefire since back in November. And yes, we should continue to support Israel defending itself against Iran and Hezbollah and all of these real dangers in the region. But we also have to recognize that Netanyahu is not doing a just job of executing this war. And we have lost tens of thousands of civilians. And so this needs to end, and we need a ceasefire now.
One more question here, because coming up June, it is Pride Month, but some celebrations are already underway, and that includes in Long Beach, where you were the mayor. The FBI and Department of Homeland Security issued a public service announcement last week warning foreign terrorist organizations could target Pride Month events and venues. And then yesterday, the State Department expanded that warning to U.S. citizens celebrating Pride overseas. Look, you're a member of Homeland Security Committee. What can you tell us about this and what's being done to protect the festivities?
I mean, it's very concerning. I mean, Long Beach Pride is actually this weekend. It's tomorrow. There's prides that are starting all across the country. And so we are working, and we did even last year during Pride, with Homeland Security to ensure that there isn't a danger to people that are participating. We know right now that violence against LGBTQ plus people, discrimination, the way the trans families are being abused, by particularly even those in Congress and in positions of power, is causing huge discontent across the country. We are moving backwards as it relates to protections for LGBTQ plus people. And it's a shame that this is happening. I'm very concerned about Pride celebrations. I'm very grateful to law enforcement that's working with the local organizers on the ground, but we are demanding that Homeland Security, that law enforcement is focused on these Pride celebrations. There's a lot of work happening behind the scenes, certainly in my city, but across the country. But this goes to show that the rhetoric that is coming out of the leadership on the far right is causing harm to our community, and it needs to end.
Okay. California Congressman Robert Garcia, it's good to see you, my friend. Thank you.
You too.